ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। Now we are going into the new topic, ahankarasya स्वात्मस्थ अनुभूति अभिव्यंजकत्व प्रतिपादनम. So ahankara is the one which manifests the anubhuti. Here it is said swatmastha anubhuti means the anubhuti which is there in itself. The experience means here it is actually jnana only. The jnana swarupa only is called as anubhuti. So ahankara is the one which manifests one's own jnana swarupa. That is being revealed now. Pratipadanam. So that is what is being talked about. So that is the topic. So here the Purva Pakshi will argue that ahankara cannot reveal the anubhuti which is there in itself, because it is something which is there, swashrayam, in oneself, okay, cannot be revealed by itself, something like that. They have an argument. And in this context, lot of argument is there about how the pratibimba happens, okay, how reflection takes place, at least from the standpoint of the Shastra, how reflection itself is explained, all that we'll see. Okay, so now nanu ahankaraha anubhutim abhivyanaktu nama tathapi nas swatmastham anubhutim abhivyanakti. Okay, ahankaraha anubhutim abhivyanaktu nama means that ahankara is the one which manifests the anubhuti, the experience. Even though it is said like that, still what he is saying is, because the ahankara is necessary for any experience, correct? Without the ahankara, there cannot be any experience, subjective experience. So even though it is said that it is the one which manifests the experience, what the Purva Pakshi is saying is, Tathapi na swatmastham anubhutim abhivyanakti. It cannot reveal the anubhuti which is there in itself. It is the one which is responsible for the experience of something else. That is fine, but not the experience which is there in itself. This is the argument being made. Basically, they are making this argument because the Advaitin is saying that if you see the Pravesha Shruti, correct? The Pravesha Shruti mainly is talking about Brahman entering the Jiva, correct? Anena Jivena Atmana Anupravishya, like that it is there, are Iha Anupravishtaha, or Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishate. All this, in each and every Upanishad, this Anupravesha is there actually. Now the Anupravesha means it is like a Pratibimba, is what finally the Bhashyakara gives the meaning. The idea is that it is available there. Brahman is available to be recognized in your Buddhi Guha, in the Antakarana. So that is like a Pratibimba. Even Pratibimba literally we cannot take, because only Pratibimba is possible only if the Bimba itself is limited, correct, in one way. And there has to be a reflecting media separate from the original, whatever the form that is reflected and all that. So even that he takes it up as an argument and first rejects it. Finally, he says that the idea of this Anupravesha, Brahman cannot really enter anywhere because it is Sarvagataha, but still it is said like that. And the meaning for that is what? If he says somebody has entered somewhere, That means they are there, correct? They are available there. So the availability is what is actually mentioned by that. So that it is available for recognition in your own buddhi. And that availability also is like a pratibimba, like that it is said. Okay, it is an abhasa or chaya. All these words are used actually in the Shastra. Now they are opposed to that. The Vishishtadvaitins, they cannot accept that the Jivatma is like a pratibimba, correct? So for them, the Jivatma, Paramatma are all real. So that is why this argument is important here. A lot of argument goes on about the nature of the pratibimba itself. So what he is saying is, nahi swashraya taya abhivyanga abhivyanjanam abhivyanjakanam swabhavaha. Okay, abhivyanjakanam, that which manifests or reveals something, their nature is that they cannot reveal something which is there in themselves. Swashrayataya, whatever is there in themselves, they cannot reveal that. Whatever revelation happens or manifestation happens, it has to be something else. Okay, they cannot reveal whatever is there in themselves, is an argument they are making. Now, what is the Drishtanta here? He is saying Pradipadishu Adarshanaatiti. They are saying even Pradipa cannot reveal something which is there in itself. It is revealing only something else other than itself. Okay, this is the analogy. Pradipadishu Adarshana. So even in Pradipa, it is not seen. Like this, the Purva Paksha is there. Means if you say like this, Ma Evam, it's not like this. Why? Because now our author is asking, Pradipaha Kim Atmastham Arunyadikam Abhivyanakti Utana. So even the Pradipa, the flame reveals its own color, correct? The flame itself has a certain reddish color or yellowish red color, or sometimes even some dark things and all appear there, correct? Different blue flame appears, different colors are there. Does it not reveal its own colors while revealing other things also with its light? So what is your answer? Does it reveal or not? Means adye nasti vyabhicharaha. If you accept the first, if you accept that it reveals, then your whole argument is gone already, correct? There is no difference. But in fact, there is no difference in what we are saying and what you are trying to object to. But if you say, no, Pradipa cannot reveal its own colors, etc., then we ask, what Katham Arunaha Deepaha Ityadi Pratitihi, then how do we even know the color of the flame? You don't require another flame to show, another lamp should come and show this lamp's light or what? Of this color, correct? So you don't require anything else. So then how do we even have this pratiti or cognition that a particular flame is of particular color? So explain that. Further what? Kincha yatha darpanadihi swatmastam prathimukham abhivyangam abhivyanjayati tadvat api iti astu. So that's what we are saying. Further what? How the one more example also is given here. Okay, how the darpanadihi means the mirror. The mirror displays some reflection to you, but that reflection is there in itself only, correct? It is swashrayataya only, it is there. Whatever bimba may be anywhere, but the pratibimba has its locus as the mirror alone, and the mirror is able to reveal whatever is there in its locus. Okay, so swatmastam pratimukham. So assuming that it is revealing your face, it is revealing the reflection of your face, the mirror, and it is able to reveal that even though that face is having the mirror itself as the locus, correct? It cannot reveal it somewhere else. If you want to see your face, you have to look into the mirror only, and that reflection of the face is there in the mirror, correct? It's not somewhere else. And still we say that the mirror is able to reveal that. Like that also you take this, what is your problem? Okay. When we say that the Chidabhasa, which is there in the Antakarana or Ahankara, can be revealed by that itself. Okay. There is no problem in that. Okay. Once we say this, what now they bring a totally new theory. Okay. This is where it is interesting. So now the Purvapakshi is saying, Nanu, na darpanadihi mukha dehe abhivyanjakaha. Now they are saying, no, no. Who told you that mirror is the one which reveals the face? Okay. We don't accept that. Mirror is not manifesting any face or anything. But how does it, as though appears, the face appears still. They cannot deny that face is still appearing in the mirror, but that appearance is not manifested or made known by the mirror itself. But then we are now proposing something new. What is that? Apitu chakshusha teja pratipalana rupa dosha krita kritaha. So now they are proposing something called chakshusha teja pratipalana rupa dosha. There is a defect. And what is this defect? There is a they are calling something called chakshusha tejaha. There is a tejas in your chakshus that goes and gets reflected in the mirror, they are saying. And because of that defect, then what? Tatra anyata avabhasaha. Even though the face is not there in the mirror, the face appears to be there in the mirror because of the defect called chakshusha teja pratipalana. Okay. So really the face is not reflecting there, but the chakshusha tejaha is getting reflected there in the mirror, and that is what is actually revealing, and that is what is making the face as though appear there. So the darpana is not the abhivyanjaka. Okay, this is what they are they are now proposing something like this. Now and further what abhivyanjakatva alokadihi eva nacha iha tata ahankarena samvidi swaprakashayam tadrisha dosha upapadanam sambhavati iti. Okay, further what he is saying is, here also what this chakshusha teja pratipalana rupa dosha is there, but even that how it is getting revealed means for that alokadihi eva abhivyanjakaha, they are saying the light itself is the one which is revealing that. And further what, in the case of the ahankara and samvit, where samvit is swaprakasha, correct, samvit is self revealing. So a self revealing samvit you cannot say is revealed by the ahankara and all that. Okay. So, and there is no dosha like this chakshusha teja pratipalana rupa dosha also is not there in the case of ahankara and samvit or anubhuti. So tadrisha dosha upapadanam na sambhavati iti. Here you cannot even say that, you cannot say that ahankara is the anubhuti abhivyanjaka. So this is the argument being made. So now they have proposed something new. Whether that has any pramana is what now he is going to argue about that. Okay. If you say like that, ma evam, it's not like that. Why? Darpane mukham na pratipalitam. Okay. Kintu chakshusha tejaha eva pratipalitam iti asya anubhava viruddhatva. First what we are saying, whatever you are saying, that in the darpana does not reflect the face, but it is reflecting actually something called chakshusha tejaha, because of which defect we think that the face is there in the mirror. This is the theory they are putting forward. Okay. But nobody, it is anubhava virodha. Nobody is having any anubhava that this chakshusha tejaha is the one which is getting reflected of the mirror and it is not the face. Like that, nobody has any anubhava. So what is the anubhava? Sarvaha hi lokaha darpane mukhadi pratipalitam iti pratyeti. Everybody is only cognizing it as that my face is the one which is getting reflected in the mirror, and nobody is even aware of something called Chakshusha Tejaha, which gets reflected from that. Okay. Further, what? Kincha Achakshushasya Chaya na drishta iti tvaya praguktam. Okay, what they say is, in fact, this is one of the arguments made in the Adhyasa Bhashya also. Bhashyakara mentions this, correct? So, how can Atma be even subjected to any Adhyasa? Because it is aprameya. Means Bhashyakara says, no, it is aham pratyaya vishaya, it is still correct. It is available as aham, that is good enough for Adhyasa. Anything which is available, and that is why this ahankara is the abhivyanjaka, we have to argue. Because if the ahankara is not the abhivyanjaka and Atma doesn't become aham pratyaya vishaya, then there cannot be any adhyasa itself, and then the entire basis of the shastra and moksha, etc., will come into the question. Okay, so that is why this argument is very important here. So they are trying to say that is why they are very against this idea of even reflection. Okay, they are giving some fancy theories to basically say that ahankara cannot, or aham pratyaya vishaya also atma cannot be, or something like that. Okay, because paramatma is something else for them. So it's very interesting. So here what we are saying is your siddhanta is what? Something which is achakshushaha, means if it is not perceived by eyes, then chaya means, here basically chaya also means, chaya word can be used for shadow, but it can be used for reflection also. So chaya na drishta iti tvaya praguktam, means it cannot be reflected, is your take. But we say that even Bhashyakara himself says, even though akasha is apratyaksha, apratyakshopi akashe tala malinatadi adhyasya, like that balaha, the children and all, they think that the sky is really blue and it is like a dome, etc. Even though akasha we say is apratyaksha, means it is not indriya pratyaksha. Understand that. That's what the apratyaksha there means. We don't say that akasha can be seen with your eyes, but it is sakshi pratyaksha we say. So even though it is apratyaksha, adhyasa is possible in the akasha. Similarly, this atma also is available as aham pratyaya vishaya, that is good enough. It need not be indriya pratyaksha or anything. Okay. So here, but your take is that, okay, achakshusya chaya na drishta iti tvaya praguttam. Now what? Tad viruddham cha idam vachanam. What you are now saying, that chakshus chejaha is the one which is pratipalana and it is known and all that, is against that we are saying. Why? Why? Because we are saying nahi chakshuhu tejascha chakshusha grihyate. This chakshush tejas cannot be seen by the chakshush. Okay. Why? Because swatmastam swayam na abhivyanjati vanjayati iti tvaya eva uktatvat. What is your initial opposition or whatever you have said is, something which is there in oneself cannot be seen by itself, or it cannot be revealed by itself. Fine, then you are saying chakshush tejas is the one which is getting reflected and all that. Who is going to see that? Chakshush itself cannot see it then, according to your own claim. Okay. And further what? Chakshu binnena grihyate chet. If you say no, it is seen by something other than the chakshush. Tarhi tasya achakshushatvam eva agatam iti katam tat chaya siddhihi. Now it has become achakshushaha. Then also you have a problem, because you are saying achakshushaha means it cannot have any pratipalanam or reflection. So whichever way you see, you have a problem. Okay, it will become asiddhi only. You cannot even establish whatever you have started with. Correct? You have started with a big statement. Okay. Now that is under problem. Okay. So now what? Now he is saying no. You people accept that, no? So now you answer something like that. They are saying. So he's saying nanu achakshusasya api gaganasya Pratipalanam abhyugatavatāha tava mate chakshuscheda pratipalanamapi sambhavati eva iti chet ma evam. So now he is saying, you people accept Gagana, which is Achakshusha. I think even the most of our traditional darshanas accept that space is Achakshusha. Okay. I think all of them accept it as, or most of them accept it as Sakshi Pratyaksha. In fact, Buddhist says that it is complete Asat and all that. And there are some Brahma Sutras which actually argue against that. It's very interesting. I was reading it some time back. That Buddhist, why it cannot be Atyanta Asat and all, Bhashyakara gives some interest, and the Brahma Sutra itself gives some interesting arguments. You can go and read it. It will be very interesting. But anyway, so he is saying, now you people accept that. So now you tell, okay, in your mata it is possible. So then why can't you accept this Takshus Chedas also? Means for this he is doing some general principles here. Now he says, Anubhavena Shastrena va Arthaha Sadhaniyaha Natu Kevala Anumanena. So anything you want to establish, okay, some vastu, some meaning, some padartha, means it has to be either your anubhava or it has to have shastra pramana, anumana or some whatever kapola kalpitam, something you cannot establish based on that, because only anumana or logic, it cannot stand by itself, correct? All tarka has to have a pratishtha either in pratyaksha or anubhava or in shastra. That is what we call axiom. Even in modern logic, everybody is clear about that. You have to start with axioms. And the axiom will come from where? Either it has to come from pratyaksha or in our case, shastra. Scientists don't have any shastra or anything. Or they indirectly they try to prove the axiom, because you can assume anything as an axiom and arrive at some theory. Then the theory has to make predictions. And if the predictions are experimentally proved, then the axiom also is indirectly proved. That means again what we say is, your axiom is now experienced. Experientially or experimentally, your axioms have been validated, it becomes. So again the tarka has to have a pratishtha in some anubhava or shastra. So tarka by itself cannot establish anything. Kevala anumanena na, you cannot do anything. Okay. And further what do we say? For akasha, the pratipalanam is anubhava siddha, correct? He is saying janu dagnepi jale gabhiratva darshanat. So the gabhiratva means what? Lot of depth, correct? Even though the water is only up to your knees, correct? But if you look into it, the reflection is showing it as though like lot of space is there, correct? Lot of depth it goes, your perception in that. So gabhiratva darshana is there even in the knee deep water or ankle deep water, you can say. Therefore, what tatra gagana pratibimbaha adhyavasiyate. So the gagana pratibimba is there. Because of that only you have to you have to ascertain that it is there, correct? Without that, it cannot be like that. So pratibimbakyam aparam drishyate. So this you see the pratibimba there. Then what? Trividam nabaha iti smritescha. Okay, now this is the anubhava, we say. Then he is also talking about the smriti. Trividam nabaha. Now this Trividam nabaha is actually what smriti I was taking out. It is actually part of Adhyatma Ramayana. Okay. So there is a portion in that called Rama Rahasya. And in that Rama is teaching Hanuman. It's very interesting. And there the Paramatma, Jivatma, what is the Swarupa of all these things, Rama is explaining. There he is using the Atma, how Atma and how the Abhasa of Atma takes place, like even the Nabas, the Akasha getting reflected in different manners. So he is talking about Mahakasha, Ghatakasha and Akasha Pratibimba also in three ways. Okay. So that is the Trividam Nabaha. Or even other ways also we can take it as even the similarity, if you take with reference to the body mind sense complex, there is an external space, okay, Bahirakasha. Then we also talk about Antarakasha, right? Even Shastra itself talks about all this Daharakasha and things like that. And of course, there is a Pratibimba Akasha also, we say. So anyway, Trividam Nabha is Smriti also is there, Shastra also is a Pramana. So for Akasha, it is not our own Kapola Kalpita like in your case, okay? But in your case, what? Prakritetu Chakshusha Tejasaha Darpanado Pratipalane Nasti Anubhavaha. So there is nobody has any Anubhava that this Chakshusha Tejas is the one which is getting reflected from the mirror and it is not the face, correct? Napi Shastram iti katam tad abhyugamaha. So and also Shastra also doesn't talk about anything like that. How can we then accept it? Further what? Napi tat kalpane anyatha anubhapattihi asti. Okay, sometimes you can do kalpana if there are two facts and you want to reconcile that, you say anyatha anubhapattihi. Like that, arthapatti is the pramana for that. Here that is also not the case. Directly we have anubhava. So there is no anyata anupapatti. Anupapatti, upapatti is there. So where is the question of using arthapatti here? Further what? Kincha grahyasya chakshuhu tejah pratipalanasya grahaka abhavat abhavaha. So the chakshus tejaha pratipalanam, like that you are saying, that is the grahya that has to be cognized. But who is going to cognize that? Chakshush itself cannot, that we already discussed that. Then who is going to cognize it? If there is no cognizer for something, then you have to assume that it is not there. If something is never cognized, means it is like Shashashringa only. Okay, once we say this, what they come back, they are saying Nacha Chakshuschejaha eva Swapratipalanam Grinnati iti Vachyam Karma Kartru Bhava Virodhat. Okay. So now Chakshus Chejaha Swapratipalanam Grinnati means the Chakshus Chejas itself sees its own reflection from the mirror. Pratipalanam also. Why can't I say? Means that is not proper. Then the karma kartru bhava virodha will come. Subject object difference will not be there. Subject itself cannot be the object. Okay, once we say this, now they are coming back and saying nacha bimba pratibimbayoho karma kartru bhavaha iti vachyam. So they are saying bimba and pratibimba cannot have karma kartru bhava virodha because bimba is different from pratibimba. Like this he is arguing. But even here, what do we say? Swapratibimbe, Swavyapara Adarshana. So you cannot have a Vyapara, a transaction or any kind of cognition of one's own Pratibimba. Okay, here once we say this, see this is very interesting. Again, these things have a lot of implication. We'll come to that later. So here, the then he is asking, then how you can see your own face on the mirror? You are saying Swapratibimbe, Swavyapara Adarshana, correct? So, but now he is saying, Nacha mukam prati mukam grinnati iti vachyam. So, if we say this, what he is saying, mukam prati mukam grinnati. Face is seeing itself in the mirror. How can you say swapratibimbe swavyapara adarshana is there? Means you cannot say that. Why? Chakshushaha eva tat grahakatvat. So face may be reflected, but what is seen as face, it is seen by the eyes, not by the face itself, we say. Once we say this, again he is saying, no, no, eye also is part of the face, correct? You are seeing your own eye in the face. Even here we make a difference. See, chakshuhu, chakshuh pratibimbam grinnati iti vachyam. So chakshush is seeing chakshush pratibimbam, then you have to say, forget the face. Your eyes are seeing its own reflection, means even that is not a karma kartri virodha for us. Why? Chakshur golakasya eva pratipalanam, natu chakshur indriyasya iti. Chakshur golaka pratibimba grahanam chakshur indresya yujyate eva iti. So here, what is seeing is not the golaka. What you are seeing is the physical apparatus which is there. That is not the seer. Chakshur indriya is the seer. Indriya is not getting reflected anywhere. So the indriya which is seeing of course the indriya cannot see the golaka. For that you require a mirror where Indriya can see the Golaka in the mirror. But what is the Grahaka there is Chakshur Indriya, not the Chakshur Golaka. So there it is no problem, we are saying. There is no Karma Kartri Virodha. Okay. After all this argument was, he now shifts to the Chidabhasa. Okay. So he is saying what? Chidabhasam Chit Grinnati iti. So Nacha Chidabhasam Chit Grinnati iti Vachyam. So now he is saying, why can't I say the Chit is seeing its own Abhasa, the Chidabhasa, correct? Because Chit is the Sakshi. Now that also you cannot say. Navachyam. Why? Chitaha Jnana Ashrayatva Abhavasya Uktatvat. See, Chit Chitaha Jnana Ashrayatva अभावस्य उक्तत्वा न च स्वस्मिन्नेव स्वव्यापारः युज्यते कथम इति स्वप्रतिबिम्बे स्वव्यापारयोगः. Okay, what we are saying is chitta is cannot be a jnana ashraya. It has this has been already said to you. So chit cannot be seen by anything. Even the chidabhasa, we can say that chida in one way. Sometimes we do say that there is a reflexive consciousness is there and all, for because when we talk about I as a subject, there is a certain reflectivity is there, but that is again only for the chida bhasa itself we talk about sometime. But chit cannot be the ashraya for any nyaya. Therefore, chida bhasa is seen by the chit and all, we don't say. It's not like that. And also further what he is still not accepting. He is saying, you said that swasmin nera swavyaparaha yujyate. Na yujyate we said. Okay, but he is saying, no, it is possible. Swasmin neva swavyaparaha yujyate. How? Means, so that being the case, he is saying, katam swapratibimbe swavyapara yogaha. How can there be swavyapara yoga with reference to one's own pratibimba? So what is the example he is giving? Chetuhu karasya chedye swasmin neva vyapara darshanat iti. So you cut your own hands with your own hands, he is saying. So there is a darshana like that, means even there, one hand can cut another hand, or one portion of your hand is cutting another portion of the hand. It is not the same. That's what he is answering. Iti vachyam, na vachyam. Why? Chedaka karabhagad anyaha eva chedya karabhagaha iti. Whatever is getting cut is different from the cutting part of the hand. Even though you may say your hand cut your own hand, there also it is not karma kartri bhava virodha is not there even in that case. Okay, in fact, but if you remember some time back, we ourselves gave this as an analogy to say that there can be this self reflexive awareness in terms of the chidabhasa. But that is also, I think, it's only like a accepting whatever they are saying, somewhat we have to say. Okay, it was not our final siddhanta or anything. We go along with them, or just to do vitanda. Sometimes it is said like that. Okay. Now further what? Nanu yatha sakshina gaganam tat pratibimbascha vedyate tatha teneva chakshusha tejaha tat pratibimbascha vedyate iti nasti grahaka bhavaha iti. Okay, now he is going back to the gagana. So sakshi is the one which sees the gaganam and its pratibimba. Both we say. Tata teneva chakshusha tejaha tat pratibimbascha vedyate. So why can't we say this? Okay, you are talking about that there is no grahaka for the chakshush tejas and all that, and it's pratibimba. Let the sakshi be the one which sees that. No, why can't we say that? Like you people are saying, gagana space or akasha is seen by sakshi pratyaksha. Let this also be that sakshi is the one which is the grahaka for this, is the cognizer. Therefore, you said that grahaka abhava is there. No, that is not there. Nasti grahaka abhava. Grahaka is there. Sakshi is the grahaka. Means that also you can't say. Mayam. Why? Anubhava avishayasya vastunaha sakshi vedyatva kalpana yoga. See, whatever is not even can be experienced, you cannot simply claim that it is experienced by the sakshi. Even for sakshi pratyaksha to be there, there has to be an anubhava which backs it. So otherwise, what will happen? Anyatha shashashringadehe apitat kalpana prasanga. Otherwise, even hairs, horn, Vandhyaputraha, all these things have Sakshi Pratyaksha, you have to say, correct? Anything can be then proposed as it is Sakshi Pratyaksha then. That's not how it is, correct? Further, apicha yadi darpane mukhasya pratipalam na syat, tarhi suryasyapi na syadeva. If you say that in darpana, mukha cannot be pratipalina, phalana, the mukha is itself is appearing because of this chakshus cheda pratipalana dosha, a defect called chakshus teja pratipalanam. Then what about the Surya? Its reflection from the mirror. We can see the sun's reflection also in the mirror. And that is even mentioned in the Brahma Sutra itself. Not I am talking about it. In the third chapter of the Brahma Sutra, there is a sutra. So this Surya Pratipalanam also, now it is not there, you have to say. But that is not Ishta for you know. Nacha Ishtapati. Why? Ata evacha upama Surya Kadivatiti Sutra Virodha. So there is a Brahma Sutra. Okay. And this Brahma Sutra, Bhashyakara, basically this sutra is to again talk about the nature of the Jiva. So Jivas are all like Pratibimba. It is there in the Brahma Sutra itself. This sutra is there. There Bhashyakara is quoting the different Upanishads and all that. There are some nice quotations there. So this sutra is there. Okay. So how are you going to explain this? Then what? Nanu darpane mukha dehe nasti pratipalanam iti asmabhihi na uchyate chakshusasya chaya abhibhagamat. Okay, now they are changing their tune. He is saying in the darpana, I don't say that the pratipalanam is not there. Okay. And just because we have accepted this chakshus tejas chaya tejaha pratipalanam, we are not saying that the mukha pratipalanam is not there. What we are saying is that mukha pratipalanam is not cognized or revealed or manifested. Correct? That abhivyanjakam only we are opposing, he is saying. Even though it is there, it is not revealed by the darpana. So what we are saying is, Kintu darpane pratipalasya vastunaha na darpanam abhivyanjakam. We are only saying that the mirror is not the abhivyanjaka for that. Okay. Like even in the room, there is a ghata. But if it is in darkness, the ghata is still there, but you don't see it. Then what is the abhivyanjaka for that? Light. Correct? Lamp has to be there, but the abhivyanjaka is different from what is getting revealed. Abhivyanjaka is not swa ashrayataya, it is not there. Correct? That is the point we are making. So when we talk about this chakshus tejaha and its pratipalana, etc., we are saying that is the abhivyanjaka of the mukha pratipalana, which is also there in the darpana. But darpana itself is not the abhivyanjaka. That is our theory. Okay. So, kintu darpane pratipalasya vastunaha na darpanam abhivyanjakam. Kintu tat pratipalitam chakshusha tejaha eva iti vadama iti. That's what we are saying. So, the abhivyanjaka there is the chakshusha tejaha. Even if you say this, iti chet ma evam api, even this explanation will not work out. Because now they are trying to say that, okay, even in the sutra, Surya pratipalana is there in the Darpanadi, it is said there, correct? Upama has been given. So now they have changed the explanation saying it is there, but it is not made available or cognized, made to revealed by that, etc. like that. So even that we cannot accept. Why? chakshusha tejasaha pratipalana abhavasya uktatvat. What we are saying is this chakshusha teja pratipalanam itself is not there. Where is the question of that becoming the abhivyanjaka? First you establish that something called chakshusha teja is there, correct? That itself you are not able to establish in any manner. We said that there is no anubhava, there is no shastra, even arthapati you cannot use because there is no context for using arthapati, correct? There is no anyata anubhapati first. Only when anyata anubhapati is there, even arthapati can come into the picture. You are simply proposing something. First establish that it is there, then we can see whether it is abhivyanjaka or not. So what we are saying is what? Chakshusha tejasa pratipalana abhavasya uktatvat. We have already said it is not there. Chakshusha tejasaha eva darpana pratipalitam palita mukhagrahakatve sambhavati sati tat pratipalana kalpana ayogacha. So if you say that this chakshusha tejas, okay, has to get reflected from the darpana, and that only becomes the abhivyanjaka for mukha, which is also there, means this also we cannot accept. Okay, this kalpana is not proper. Why? Because there are certain important things are there here also we have to understand. See, you are indirectly hinting at things like a pot being there in a dark room which has ajnata satta, correct? Pot being there in the dark room has ajnata satta, we say. Therefore, when the mirror comes, when the light or a lamp shines there, then it becomes jnata satta, correct? We know that. But what we say is, in the case of pratibimba, there is no ajnata satta. Understand that. So if something has ajnata satta, then you can say something else comes and makes it abhivyanjaka, correct? But here, whatever is getting reflected, the reflection is like pratibhasikam only for us. You cannot say Rajju Sarpa has ajnata satta, correct? Rajju Sarpa has only, while it is seen only, it is there. In fact, that is why we say Traikalika, Nisheda and all, we can talk about it, correct? It is never there in all 3 periods of time, but it is seen. While seen, it is there. That's all we can say. So Ajnata Satta is not there for Pratibhasika. Similarly, we don't accept Ajnata Satta for any of this, all this, whatever, any kind of reflection. So you cannot say that the reflection is there, but it is not known. And then this Chakshush Teja Pratipalana comes and makes it known also. You cannot argue. Okay, so that is not, there is no yogyata in whatever you are saying. It is all untenable. Okay. This argument continues. We'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.